Good afternoon, Colorado, and good afternoon, people listening outside of Colorado. You're listening to K4CO Radio, and we're breaking in for a really special interview right here. We're with Colorado's own Wild WilliE. How's it going, Wild WilliE?
Oh, fantastic, Joshua. Good to be back here again, man. God.
It's great to have you back here. You were the very first musician that we interviewed on K4CO. So welcome back. It's such a pleasure and privilege to have you back.
Oh, thank you. It's a huge honor. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. How have things been going? I mean, I know we'll get into it. You just released a new album. Which is great. And I think when you were in here last time, you were kind of working on that album, and then suddenly it just recently came out. So how have things been going?
Things have been going really great. I mean, I've been really busy as of late, both working both my day job, of course, as well, just to pay the bills, and also I've been working hard trying to get this album released. And it was like the longest debut album and the longest project I've ever done, really. I mean, it took about four and a half years, of course, and it was slightly delayed about 3 years ago, when COVID started happening,
right.
And It was on delayed for a while. So it was kind of difficult and it was really stressful, though. But finally, after the pandemic went away, I mean, we finally released this album. And honestly, it was really a blessing and it's really great. And it turned out well.
Awesome. No, it definitely did turn out well. So you were gracious enough to hand us some songs, and you've been in our rotation, gosh, pretty much you're one of the first few that came into our rotation here at K4CO.
All right.
So,
sweet.
Yeah, and we've gotten some Colorado only music hours that are really popping up, and you're getting in there, so thank you very much for kind of supporting us too and just helping us out and listening. And
it's not that much, I'm all for the music and I'm all for Colorado, I mean, basically both are my lifeline, it's my passion, my purpose, and to represent my hometown and to deliver music,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And so let's kind of remind people. So you came in for an interview. You were interviewed by our station manager, Kevin Stanley. And I get the pleasure and privilege of interviewing you this time, which is great. So remind, kind of our listeners, when you grew up, I mean, what really started your passion for music? When did you kind of say, I want to do this? I want to write songs.
Well, it started before I could walk, really. I mean, when I was the age of 3. My dad was playing music on the radio for the 90s, and of course, this popular band, Bare Naked Ladies of Canada, and there was a song called Jane, and at age 3, and I do mean age 3, that I couldn't talk, but yet when that song played, I sang the chorus line, Jane, in that little voice, and my parents were like, what's that? It's his first word. I can't believe it. And right then and there, I was just born for music, and my parents were like, could this be the start of something big? And then when I was 14, I went to my first rock concert, which was Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, man.
Seeing him play Eruption and just like shredding guitar, doing solos that are just out of this world. And I was like, that's it. That's what I wanted to do. And that was my solace. And then I discovered Ozzy Osbourne, biggest impact too, as well. I mean, wanted to be just like him, just see him go crazy up on stage and just doing these outrageous things, just all tattooed, long hair, and this guy banging his head, and just going around saying, like, that's guy crazy, it's like, it was just mesmerizing me, and that was my biggest inspiration. I mean, huge inspiration. I wanted to be just like that.
Just like Ozzy. And this is the time where you had Zakk Wylde, too, which was amazing, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Zakk Wylde, Dimebag Darrell, Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath, Slash from Guns N' Roses, Jimi Hendrix, Randy Rhoads, of course, and love a lot of country pickers, too, like Johnny Cash. He's my top one. Of course, he's the reason why I got into songwriting as well. Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and I'd say Randy Travis, one of my favorites, too, as well.
He's got a great voice, Randy Travis. Oh, wow.
I know, absolutely, yeah, one of the greats, for sure.
Yeah. So where was the concert of Van Halen, your first one? Do you remember where it was?
Well, this was back in the day when it was called the Pepsi Center, and it was during the reunion tour, of course. Mm-hmm. It was 2007, 2008. I was 14, going into 8th grade at the time. Yeah, and that's where they played. And it was just out of this world.
Right.
And I heard Eddie Van Halen on CD before, but I never seen him live. And when I heard about Van Halen playing the Pepsi, I was like, yeah, like, thank you, Dad,
Right, exactly. Oh, and I keep reminding myself you're much younger than I am, so I remember McNichols Arena and all that fun stuff. So you got the Ozzy, you got the Van Halen, you got the Black Sabbath. Any other influences other than that? Johnny Cash. I mean, do you just love many different types of music?
I love many types of music. Definitely, I'm all for it though. But if I had to name my top 5, it would be Motorhead, Pantera. I'd say Iron Maiden. Also, God, there's so many favorites. I'd say AC/DC, Motley Crue, definitely Motley Crue. But I'd say those are like my top 5 so far. I mean, definitely Motorhead, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, all those guys for sure.
That's amazing and fun that you can do that, because so many people are just like, oh, name your top 5. They're like, oh my God, I can't, I don't know, and you're just like, nope, I got them right here.
Yeah, but like I said, I got a list of favorites. I mean, it never ends.
Right, exactly. So you were writing this album, you were preparing for this album for years. Okay. And we're going to get into some of the songs here soon. But when you're writing, I mean, what is kind of your process? One, are you inspired by writing the lyrics first? Are you a lyric guy? Are you inspired by writing the music first? Is it a combination? What goes on there?
It's basically, I write songs when I face situations in my life that was challenging. Basically, it was the challenges of my life, that really inspired me to songwrite, of course. Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever's on my mind, both good and bad, I put into words, honestly. And it's basically, you can write a song about anything, like pretty much when you're sitting at home, like watching TV, or when you're at your day job, thinking on things, basically. I mean, whatever's on my mind when I hear a crazy word, crazy thought, I put that into music, I put that into songs, and that basically was my best therapy for me.
And I can tell with a lot of your songs, it does come from a type of challenge in your life, because a lot of your lyrics are uplifting, kind of struggle, kind of personal, that I get from you. So I definitely get that. So a lot of your songs you write are very biographical. It's from things that you've experienced, that you've gone through.
It definitely is, for sure. I mean, I grew up in a divorced family, of course, but my dad stuck out like a sore thumb and raised me and my brother, and he's like one of my biggest heroes, too, my biggest life hero. If it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't be here, I mean, he's really an incredible man. I mean, very loving, very caring, taught us the value of hard work, taught us how to be a leader, taught us to survive, and basically he was, he was on his own pretty much, I mean, raising us kids. And then my mother, I mean, God bless her soul, came into the picture and helped him along the way. And so basically I even dealt with an alcoholic stepfather too as well, who was not a good man, and I developed a lot of anger and a lot of rage because of that. And my biological mom being neglectful and abandoned, and being an abandoner herself. And basically, but when it didn't really bring me down, it inspired me to be a lot better than them. That's the way I was going to get revenge. I was like, I'm going to be a better person than you two, that you failed to be the figures that I wanted you to be. I'm going to be my own figure and be who I am and all I can be. And that's how, when I discovered music was my weapon against my oppressors, I'd use that, I used that as my doorway into life and getting into the real world and expressing myself like no other.
Kind of like your therapy right there is just like, I'm not going to stand still. I'm going to keep going. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to let my adversaries win, I mean, it's like my dad, he gave me the 2 options in life, basically. It's like, you can let it destroy you and ruin your day and kill you mentally and wear you down, or you can take it like a man and face it and become better than your adversaries,
And you definitely, you hear that in your music too, I gotta say. And it's very powerful. It's very rock, and it kind of, in a little bit way, do you remember Andrew WK? Do you remember him at all?
Oh yeah, Andrew WK. I love that guy.
Okay,
Great
yeah,
guy.
where it's positive, it's keep going, it's keep moving forward, all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. I mean, what can I say? He's a motivational speaker, and also I can definitely hear that in his music.
Right, definitely. All right, well, let's get into one song. And for the first one, I figured we'd just play when you came in the first time. This is the only song that we had. This is the only song that you were kind of rolling with, and this is perfect title. It's called WilliE. All right. Tell us what was going through your mind when you wrote this song, WilliE. What is this song about to you? To
me, it's really all about what a warrior is, who is taking so much hits, been cut, been bruised, beaten down on the battlefield, been through a lot of battles, been through a lot of wars, and who's a survivor, basically. And that's basically telling my story of how I survived my biological mom's divorce with my dad, my alcoholic stepfather, and her awful boyfriends, my adversaries, and survived bullying in high school. Basically, the song is really all about survival, and it's all about, when you go through the hurt, when you go through the pain and the battles, you take the hits and you're still standing. I mean, basically, that's what makes you a warrior, because a warrior, he's not a quitter. He is a doer, he's a dreamer, and he can be anything he wants to be. I mean, as I always say, it's better to be the chameleon than the iguana. You blend into your environment and you blend in like the best you can be. Mm-hmm. Be all you can be.
I like that. I like the analogy. I've never heard something like that. So we're going to play this song, Warrior, real quick. We'll be right back. So this is Wild WilliE.
Yeah!
Yeah! Here is Warrior for you. And this is off the new album, too.
Yep,
so, and
my
it's
debut.
All over. Debut. Wild WilliE, Warrior. We'll be right with you.
Gonna crush the day. Bring the fight and we're gonna be victorious. Going all the way. I've been cut, I've been bruised, tearing me apart. Taking hits, pushing through, honoring the scars. And never start to the top, gonna keep on climbing. Go beyond the stars. Burning hot with the fire. Time to bring it on. All eyes on the prize, never losing focus till the victory's won. I've been cut, I've been bruised, tearing me apart. Taking hits, pushing through, honoring the stars. And never stop to the top, gonna keep on climbing. Go beyond the stars. Burning hot with the
Never break down from the fight.
Try to stay alive. Stay alive.
I really like that song. And yeah, it's very, I am a warrior. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep fighting. So this is the first song on your new album.
Yep.
And you were telling me that your sister actually did the artwork, and I really like the artwork.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, my sister, Grace, of course.
And so she's your biological sister.
Half sister, actually.
Okay, half sister. And so was this her idea to put this kind of warrior cover on it for you? What inspired that?
Well, basically, she called me up and she said, like, hey, do you want me to do any artwork for you? I can actually help you out. And I was like, yeah, sure, sis, do your magic. And I told her what I wanted, and I basically described my ideas. And basically, she showed me this painting, and I was like, oh my God, this is definitely going to be the album cover. This is it. This is what I've envisioned. I'd say pretty much it also inspired, it came from a dream, too,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just had this vision in my head, for a while, you know what I mean? First, originally, I was going to do, like, a mountain with storm clouds in the background, and it was going to be, like, different types of warriors, like, I was going to be a Scottish Highlander, and I was going to have somebody dress up as a samurai, one a Viking, one a Rajput, or one probably a Spartan, I think. That was the original idea, but...
Sparta!
Yeah, this is Sparta.
Right, this is Sparta.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but instead I decided to keep it original, and then when I saw Grace do the album cover, I was like, yep, this is it. Yeah. So that's kind of where the idea came from.
And how did, were you recording over these last, 4 years while you were doing this album, or did a lot of it happen after the COVID pandemic stuff?
Well, we were in the studio before the pandemic happened. We were getting right into the point where our third song, and when the pandemic hit, we stopped right there. But then years after, we finished the last 5 tracks of the album.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. You talked about your dad quite a bit, how he is, one of the main guys you wouldn't be around if it wasn't him. Mm-hmm. In this aspect for this song, he's a warrior to you. He's someone that you look up to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's such an incredible guy. He had a great life. I mean, he was a great pro football player in college, and he worked pretty much 3 jobs just to put food on the table. I mean, guy never takes no for an answer. He never gives up, and the most incredible thing he said to me after I had a failed acting audition, he basically said to me, I could have given you and your older brother up and not had a single care in the world, but I put my foot down and I said, I'm going to be the best father, and I'm going to raise you kids to be men, to be successful, and I'm not going to give up on you. And no matter what, I'll always be there for you, and I'll always love you. And that's why I'll always love my dad. I mean, of course, we had good times, we had bad times, we had clashes. I mean, there were times where we didn't go along, but we still worked at it. We still love each other. And honestly, I have an incredible relationship with my father.
Well, and a lot of times, my best friend, he is my best friend because we've been in the worst together. We've been in the best together. That's what actually creates that bond. And you mentioned bullying too, which is interesting because I was bullied when I was in elementary when I was young, and I actually think whatever it is, I thank God out there that I was, because it showed me who's a good person, who you want to be around, and who you want to, be friends with, and everything. So, really respect that too. And how did growing up, getting to this Wild WilliE, and I want to talk about that. What made you come up with Wild WilliE? What is there a story behind that?
Well, I was jotting around names for a while, for sure. I mean, I was trying to come up with a name that matches my dynamic personality. I was getting a lot of comments saying, like, God, you go crazy up on stage, WilliE. I mean, like, how do you do that? How do you get that so much energy? I'm like thinking, okay, I want to come up with a name that signifies me being outrageous, totally crazy, pretty much out of control maniac on stage. And so I was thinking of Zakk Wylde's name. I was thinking Willie Wild at first, and then I switched it around, Wild WilliE. And I'm like,
might as well.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I figured, why not? It's kind of like Ozzy Osbourne, or it's kind of like Iggy Pop. It's kind of like, Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones. I wanted to be able to do that. I was inspired by these guys. I wanted to take every wild, charismatic frontman and try to take the next step. Right,
gotcha. And which is interesting because you also do a lot of acoustic shows. You do a lot of singer-songwriter shows. Tell us about that.
I played a lot of open mic nights at the Alley every Tuesday, of course, and I do play on occasion. Hadn't had much gigs as of late, though, but I've been doing a lot of open mic nights on Tuesdays pretty much like about 10 years ago, of course, when I graduated out of high school. First gig was at 22, and I've been playing at the Alley nonstop for probably the past about 8 years.
Now, is there a difference in your mind when you're up there? You know, of course, you got your album, you got your band that we're going to talk about too.
Yep.
But is there a difference mentally when you're up there doing an acoustic set and when you're up there doing a band set? Are you not Wild WilliE on the acoustic set, or are you still the same Wild WilliE just on an acoustic guitar?
Just the same Wild WilliE on acoustic guitar.
All
sure.
right,
Yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough. That's awesome. And you've been in Colorado how long?
All my life for the past 29 years. Born and raised.
I love it. I love it. You don't see a lot of natural born Coloradoans
I know,
anymore.
not a lot of natives live, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm part of the 1.5% of population.
And I'm right there with you. I absolutely love it. Now, with the album coming out, let's talk about your band real quick. So the dynamic with your band, because a lot of times, you know, you played acoustic shows kind of by yourself. So tell us about the band a little bit.
Well, we're called Resistful Misfit. There are 4 members, and honestly, we've been together for the past 3 months, and we're like a hard rock, rockabilly, heavy metal type band. I mean, it's like different genres of music. And when we go up on stage and play, you know, I mean, like we play for the music, you know, we play for pretty much the show. We don't think about fame or fortune or anything, you know.
Right,
we just want to be like the best band in Colorado as we can be.
You just want to have fun. Exactly. And entertain.
Yeah, exactly. You know, get the crowd all riled up, you know, for sure. And of course, I still maintain being Wild WilliE, you know, and Resistful Misfit, of course. I mean, and I give credit to pretty much my friend Rob, who's my drummer, you know, who introduced me to the project.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I mean, he texted me one day. He basically said, like, hey, I just joined this band. We're looking for a lead singer. We want you to be part of this band. Would you be interested? And I'll be like, yeah. Because it's always been on my bucket list to be part of a band. Even though I enjoy playing solo, but I felt if I could be in a band, I want to try something different.
It's
like,
a much different feeling, too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was much easier to remember lyrics. I can express myself on stage. I can still play guitar on the side. And I can, like, express myself, like, a lot more than when I do an acoustic show, for sure. And still maintain the same personality.
And so Resistful Misfit. Who came up with that?
My guitar player, Ed, he's the founder and he's the chief songwriter. He pretty much wrote the majority of Resistful Misfit's music. Mm-hmm. I mean, basically, I knew right off the bat where this is like my home. The first time we ever jammed, I never played with a band of this type, and these guys are just amazing. I mean, basically, I was like, thank God I found the most hungriest guys I could jam with.
That's awesome. I love it. I'm going to play Hell or High Water right now. Now, this is off your, every song that we're playing is off of your new album, and congratulations for that album.
Thank you so
awesome.
much.
It's awesome. Tell us a little bit about Hell or High Water.
Hell or High Water is basically taking a last chance and taking risks, you know, like whatever second counts, you know, all you can do. Like, I mean, if you have an objective, if you're like, have a deadline, you know, like do what you can to get it finished and get it done. And come Hell or High Water is just another way of getting it done, for sure. Mm-hmm. And that just never giving up, taking the last chance, taking that one risk, you know, and just, it could be a gamble, it could be like one last chance, but, you know, something like that.
But anything that I like that summary right there. And have you with Resistful Misfit, is that completely separate from Wild WilliE?
Yeah, I mean it's 2 different projects. I mean this is my solo project and this is my other project that I'm in.
Awesome. All right. Well, here is Hell or High Water, Wild WilliE, and you can find his album off Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. Right?
Well, we haven't recorded yet. We're still in the process right now, but we're just playing gigs just to get more notoriety.
Well, I'm saying Wild WilliE, your new album.
Oh,
your new album is out there on a lot of
absolutely. Platforms. It's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, it's definitely on Amazon Music for sure, and it's on Pandora. It's pretty much everywhere.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, we'll be right back. Here is Hell or High Water. We'll be right back with Wild WilliE.
I get stronger. after all these years. Yesterday I was drowning in sorrow. Today I'm here to rise above my fears. Gonna take a shot until I'm back on top. Say what you gotta say. I will never stop, cause I'm rising to the top. My life will never fade away. From hell or high water, I get up, I get stronger. Give it all I got and I will never stop, and nothing will slow me down. Burning up the night sky, supernova light shine, nothing's gonna stop me now. From hell or high water, I get up, I get stronger. Been down to the bottom, cut down to size, through it all. I'm still alive, I keep walking, burning bright after the fall. Wanna give it all away, wanna throw it all out deep inside my heart. Lighting up a burning flame, battle cry shouting out, tear these walls apart. All I want, all I need is deep inside of me. Never stop till I drop, I am breaking free. Oh, high water, I get up, I get stronger. From hell, oh, high water, I get up, I get stronger. From hell, oh, high water, I get up, I get stronger. Give it all I got and I will never stop, and nothing will slow me down. Burning up the night sky, supernova light shine, nothing's gonna stop me
Hell or high water right there. Wild Willie. And you can find out even more information about him at wildwilliemusic.com. Awesome music again. Thanks again for joining us. Want to talk a little bit about there's collaborations that you've done with a good friend of yours named Matt Vigil.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, me and Matt, we actually known each other for the past 10 to 12 years, of course. I mean, I was about, I think, 19, and he was 23 when I met him. And so we've been talking for so many years, and we hung out a lot, you know. But then, of course, Matt, he wanted to, like, collaborate with me, and he wanted to jam music. And I was like saying, hey, I think I want to start another album, and would you be willing to play on this? And so we teamed up, and basically that's how Wild and Eerie was born. And we recorded about 5 tracks, of course, and it was a lot of work. It was a whole lot of work. It took like almost a week, but unfortunately we can only do it 2 because, you know, it was very time consuming. It was very hard to complete, but we came out with like great songs, and of course we came out with a song called The Reason, and God, there's another one I can't remember though, but those 2 songs really good stood out though.
What is this under?
It's under Wild and Eerie, and it's under Matt's, of course, Facebook profile. I mean, he hasn't released it yet. It's still going through the process.
It's still in mixing and mastering and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And do you do all your mixing and mastering here locally?
With my producer, Phil, yeah.
Okay, and is he independent? Is he local by himself? Does he work with an outfit?
He's local, and he also has done collaborations with other musicians as well. And he also had music featured in commercials and TV as well in the past.
Very nice. Very nice. I mean, you can just tell the production value on that because it's amazing how so many times mixing and mastering is so important with technology today. You know, we're just like, oh, yeah, you know, that's Jim in his basement, you know, just mixing and mastering for us. It's like, yeah, we can tell.
Yeah.
But no, it sounds absolutely great. So he did a great job for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I give credit to Alex, too. He's also the producer that did the mastering as well.
Alex, okay. He did all the... wait, he did the mixing and the mastering as well?
Yeah, I mean, Phil, he did part of the mixing, of course, but the mastering, Alex did.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. What are you going to be really focusing on going here on out? So, I mean, you know, it's a new year, new Wild WilliE, and it's a new May now. So we already just went into a new month. What is going to be your focus for 2024?
Well, my main focus is Resistful Misfit, of course, still jamming with the band. And time to time for my solo project, I'm really not sure at this point because there's going to be there's some couple changes, though. But I'm still going to keep writing songs, and I'm still going to do some acoustic shows, you know, on the side whenever I can. Mm-hmm. And still probably going to collab with Matt if he's willing, you know, and of course. And probably just do another project with him, Wild and Eerie. Just probably put our first album out and then internet time.
Do you write with your acoustic?
Yes, I do. I do write both my acoustic and I write the songs on my phone. I also put it on paper, of course. I mean, just whatever comes to mind, or if I hear like a different sound, different tuning, you know, and stuff like that, I just put that into words and pretty much the rest is magic, you know.
That's refreshing. I get made fun of when I pull out a pencil and paper. It's like, come on. Like, usually people your age, I mean, you're a young kid, so usually, you know, young people are just like, what is that? It's called a number 2.
Yeah, right.
And notepad, you know, not just your phone stuff. So acoustic guitar is really, even for these harder songs for Wild WilliE, acoustic guitar is your writing utensil. That's your writing instrument?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's really it's my baby. It's pretty much like my magic wand, you know, to cast my enchantments, you know, to make my wonders of the world, really. I mean,
right.
It's pretty much what gave me also another thing I can use to express myself, too, as well. You know, I mean, it just feels great playing, you know, on both acoustic and electric. You know, it gives you like a big rush, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely know. Do you remember what your first song was and how old you were when you did it?
My first song was Snowy Afternoon Blues, and I wrote that song when I was 18. It was about the snowstorm of Colorado of 2013, actually, or 2003 when I was a kid. 2002,
2003 area. I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, it was inspired by my friend Sharon, of course. I mean, I took her inspiration, you know, to write the song, and so I was just doing like a simple blues song, you know, just jamming a chord, you know, like just sitting out in my room, playing out my blues in the snowy winter afternoon. And I was like, okay.
that sounds like a song. Exactly. Nice.
Yeah.
And was your father always kind of behind your music passion?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's very supportive, of course, and he wanted to remind me that I still have to have a job to pay the bills, but he still is most encouraging and supportive, and even has a talent for songwriting as well. Mm-hmm. And of course, whenever I bring him a song, and basically he's like, why do you keep writing dark songs, Willie? Come on, write something uplifting. And and of course, he had some inspiration to that too, you know. And I was like, okay, I'll put it in the words.
Were a lot of your younger songs, earlier songs, kind of dark?
Yeah, they are kind of dark, even though it comes from a dark place, though. But it sends a positive message, you know. I mean, because you know it's dark before dawn, you know.
Right, exactly. You got to go through all the darkness before you can see the light. Yeah.
I know, yeah, you have to fall in order to get back up again. You know, that's kind of like when I play out my songwriting as well.
Mm-hmm. And is that so that's pretty much kind of the inspiration. Is a lot of the inspiration of the songs that you write mainly about growing up, or has it just been kind of your whole life going forward?
Well, it's really the storybook of my life, honestly. I mean, I always write about songs about helping out people, inspiration, and redemption. Also, been through hell and back, and I've always done that, and I always will.
Is there a certain song that you wrote that just really stands out to you? Like, is like, that's my signature song right there, whether it be you up on stage with the acoustic guitar or with a band, or is there a certain song that's just like, yep, that's my baby?
My first original, Enough is Enough, for sure.
Enough is Enough?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's my reminder of why I'm here and why I'm still standing and who I am, of course. I mean, being proud of who I am and not ashamed of anything, have no regrets. You know, I'm a survivor, and no matter what I go through, you know, both good and bad, you know, I'm just reminding myself that I'm not a religious man, but I've always been a spiritual and fortunate man, really.
So you've gone through a lot where I take it there's been some times where you just didn't want to write. You just were not in that mood. And what would you say got you out of that? So, I mean, it's one thing to feel all of this and to feel down and out, but it's another thing to flip it around and get back up. What would you say is the thing that kind of gets you out of that funk?
I'd say music for one, and most of all, my family, my friends, of course, and of course my best friend Matt, and best friend Corey of Float Like a Buffalo. I mean, definitely. I mean, they always remind me saying like, "Hey, man, I mean, if you're feeling down, like take a guitar and just jam, dude. I mean, like, hey, don't be hard on yourself. Don't let it stress you out. You know, like stuff like that." And yeah, family and friends, pretty much most of all, and music has always been a constant companion to mine. I mean, I felt like if I didn't have music, you know, I mean, I would never be able to express myself, really. And like I said before, you know, if it wasn't for my family, for my friends, I wouldn't be here either, because they remind me every day of who I am, and that I shouldn't be ashamed of who I am. Like, you don't want to be anybody else. You just want to be you.
So when you get down, are you the type to reach out to your family and friends right there?
Absolutely. Those are the first people I hit up, for sure. And then also just pick up a guitar and just jam out my blues, and basically write in my journal too as well about my feelings as well. And I still do that to this day. Yeah, that really helps me a lot.
Do you get some songs from your journal, or is it more of a personal kind of thing right there?
I say sometimes though, but I think when I'm living, and you know, when I hear like this crazy idea in my head, if I had an epiphany of a really awesome song title, I was like, okay, why don't I write this out? Mm-hmm. And then I just put it in my notes on my phone, and then I just put it in the words. Right.
Awesome. Well, this next song is actually, so off your new album, you know how some songs just really stick out for certain people. On this album, this song really stuck out for me. My Own Man. I love the music. I love the lyrics. I love the message. Tell us about writing this song.
Thanks, man. That really means a lot. Well, My Own Man is basically all about being independent, like thinking for yourself and not letting anybody just get to you. Basically, it's like a man on a mission going out to achieve his goals, to achieve his dream, despite what everybody thinks of him. You know, he's like resistant in the temptations of the world, you know, just basically going out on his own, you know, like a soldier going to war, you know. Mm-hmm. And basically that's how I described pretty much when I first got out of high school. Just I'm going to be in a band, I'm going to play guitar, I'm going to write songs, and I'm going to be up there with my heroes.
And I don't care if people like it or not.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going, right?
Absolutely, no matter what.
That is awesome. All right, so I'm going to play this one. One of my favorites off of the new album here is Wild WilliE, My Own Man. We will be right back on K4CO.
So long, where to start?
My Own Man, Wild WilliE right there, off of his new album, self-titled album. It is all over the place out there, from Spotify to Apple to Amazon to you name it. You can follow Wild WilliE on Facebook. Wild WilliE ends with a capital E with those two dots over it. What is that called?
Umlaut symbols.
Umlaut symbols, all right.
Yeah, it's German, though, but I mean, like, I get it from Motley Crue Motorhead, so.
Right, exactly. Yep. There's another local band called Mott that puts that above the O, so yeah. Got it from the same, Motley Crue. So you can also follow him personally on WPS2013 on Instagram. And you said you had to get a new personal Facebook because it got hacked. Like, it happens all the time with everybody.
Yeah, but
which is annoying.
Yeah, but I recovered it quickly, so that's good.
Yep, that is good. Heck yeah. You were telling me about the lead work in that last song, My Own Man. Good buddy of yours did that.
Yep, James Randy Rodensteinbach, Float Like a Buffalo.
Float Like a Buffalo. Great lead work right there. And you can definitely tell with that one the country influence of you. Which you said Johnny Cash is definitely a favorite.
I know, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Johnny Cash, really wrote about songs of life and redemption, and basically he's like my kind of songwriter, my kind of guy. A guy dressed in black, don't even care, and basically not afraid to write how he feels. Basically, it's just from the heart, and pretty much from the world he grew up in, it was pretty black. That's pretty much influenced my songwriting as well. Hearing like Folsom Prison Blues and When Man Comes Around and God's Gonna Cut You Down, Hurt, those songs, it really spoke to me, of course, for sure. It really hit me. And I'm like, this is my guy, this is my hero. I want to be just like him.
Oh, he's an idol, definitely. Yeah, miss you, Johnny.
Yeah, God bless you, Johnny. Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah. And talk about another guy that just came from a very dark past and really rose above it. Want to kind of redirect this because your band, because that's one of your focuses right now, the band that you're with right now, Resistful Misfits. You guys playing live a lot? You guys focusing? Are you going to be recording in the studio, writing some songs? What's going on with that?
Well, our recent gig right now is coming up on May 4th, Moe's Barbecue, and of course we try to get as many gigs as we can. I say we play twice a month, I believe. And we do practice every Tuesday. And we get together and we just jam, and it's like magic. It's incredible. Ed is such a phenomenal guitar player. He just takes those melodies and like the classic Jimmy Page style guitar playing and make it his own. And Rob being an absolute rhythm machine on drums. He can really play like crazy. And Mikey's kind of like our secret weapon of the band. He's kind of like our John Paul Jones, like our, magician on bass, really. Like, he's the wizard on bass, and he's great.
So May the 4th be with you. Moe's Barbecue off Broadway, right?
Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorite hangouts. I went there, like, during the time of the the Englewood, Colorado punk rock movement. And also being a member there for, like, so many years, finally a dream come true to play a gig there, because I've always wanted to play there.
I've heard it's a good stage. I've heard fans really like playing there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot of my fans, a lot of my friends' bands play there a lot, for sure.
Nice. Very nice. What would you say is probably one of your favorite that you have played in your history?
Whew, that's a good question.
I know,
I played a lot. I say my favorite of all time is The Alley.
The Alley. Very nice. I still have yet to be there, but I'm gonna go there in the next week here. Was invited. So why The Alley? What's the allure of that?
Honestly, it's really the epicenter of the Colorado music scene, and a lot of great bands play there, great music, and also it's like a second home to me. The people are nice, very supportive. They are here for the music, having a great time. Honestly, I go there pretty much just to drown out all the stress from when I have my day job, and just the magic is there, and I just feel like I'm in a whole new world, a world where I can express myself and, be myself. And that's where pretty much I met all my friends. It's pretty much where I met Corey. It's all the members of Float Like a Buffalo, and a lot of great bands too as well. And it's kind of like my Whiskey A Go Go. It's my Rainbow Bar and Grill of Colorado, really.
It was amazing being in California and being outside of Whiskey A Go Go. Wow, what a place! And our vice president here was a studio drummer in LA in the 70s, and
awesome.
has played that quite a bit. Do you plan on an album release show? So your album just recently. When did it come out? It's been a few weeks, right?
March 9th of 2024.
March 9th, okay. Do you plan on maybe doing an album release party, a little show?
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Phil are still talking about it, and we definitely want to play at Herman's Hideaway. We definitely want to find the perfect time, perfect place. We're still working on that. So we don't know when, though. I mean, we don't know when it's going to be, but we're still working on it, and we'll let everybody know.
When's the best place, or where's the best place for people to follow you and find out all that information?
You can definitely check me out on Facebook, and feel free to message me, or even message my band page on Facebook as well, or even feel free to message me on Instagram as well, too, and definitely hit you up.
Awesome. Yeah, we can't wait to hear when your album release party gets going. So
yeah, pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's always exciting to have an album come out. And is there a certain song on this album that stands out to you, on this particular album that you released?
I'd say Warrior overall, honestly, because, I mean, I say it's like the perfect description on the most indestructible human being, and also who's a fighter and who's not a quitter, who's a doer, and who has great integrity, great morals, great values, and never let any temptation get to his head.
You said it perfectly right there. And Warriors, that's one of the songs that has been in our rotation since kind of we started. So,
oh, I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we're definitely honored. Still remember when you came in for the very first interview with a band or musician in K4CO. So,
well, I'm very honored. Thank you so much.
Of course. No, it's been such an honor playing you. All right, we got one more song before we wrap up. Before we do, though, who do you want to shout out to there, or your biggest? I'd say you're all about strength. You're all about, keep going forward, keep your mind right, and keep looking. Who are your biggest out there that you want to shout out?
Well, first and foremost, I like to thank Philip Stone, my producer and good friend, who encouraged me to write the songs and also write the music that I always wanted to play, and Alex Tyler too as well for mixing and mastering. Big shout out to Corey Perriman, James Randy Rhodes Steinbach, Afloat Like a Buffalo, for being the best friends that a guy could have, actually brothers to me, and who I love dearly. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all you do. And also, save the best for last, I want to thank my mother and father for being the best encouragers, the most supportive and most loving and caring, but overall the best mother and father that a son could have, And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. And once again, a big happy birthday to my mother, of course, Kelly Miller Shandell. Mm-hmm. Yep. And also, big shout out to Matt Vigil, my best friend and close friend, and also who's one of my saviors of my life. And big shout out to Grace Lee, my sister. I love you, sis. Thank you so much. You did a phenomenal job on that album cover, and just want to let everybody know, if you want to have a logo done, if you want to have artwork done, definitely hit her up for sure. And also big shout out to my cousins, Taylor Miller, of course, for great artwork on my first single. I mean, I love it, man, and being a great cousin. And also Paige for being a wonderful and caring cousin as well, and also who reminded me so much myself and basically let me be myself. Thank you, Paige. I love you, man.
Sounds like you have an absolutely amazing support system around you.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of great friends out there, and I give a big shout out to them, and you all know who you are for sure. And a great family, and I can honestly say definitely my reason for living for sure.
That's beautiful. Awesome. All right, well, this last song that we're going to be playing, we're going to have you kind of talk about this one. Against the Tide on this one. What can you tell us about this when you wrote it and what it's about?
Basically, it's about making your day your best and your last, and who knows what the tide could bring the next day. It's basically expect the unexpected, and basically there's sometimes a shift in the universe and life, and things could change. And, as you know, a tide goes up against the rocks and it clashes. Just like, the world shakes, and everything clashes, like all around the world, there's a lot of disasters happening, basically. And We just got to prepare. It's all about basically prepare for the worst and how we can overcome it and how can we survive it, and we can outlast it for sure. Just
Day by day, yeah.
Yeah, just got to take it day by day, and pretty much that's mostly what the song's about, honestly.
I love it. Well, thank you very much, Wild WilliE, for being here. I really appreciate it. You definitely always have a home here at K4CO, and really looking forward to what's coming next, especially with Resistful Misfits. And
yeah, absolutely. And I give a big shout out to them. Yep. Rob, Mikey, Ed, if you're listening to this, I love you guys. Let's rock May the 4th, brother. Let's bring the iron claw of rock and roll to them.
May the 4th be with all of you.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. All right, you've been listening to an interview with Wild WilliE here, and here is Against the Tide. You all take care and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, K4.
It all seems very strange. Breaking out of my past, it's time for a change. Been through the hurt, been through the pain. I know what I'm worth. Gonna make my mark, light up the sky, reach for the stars where I belong. Crashing against the rocks, but we'll rise up just like the wind we roll and never stop. Roll on and on and on against the tide. You can't stop me.